Freshwater aquarium keeping in this is the second part about equipments used in the maintenance of aquarium. So, in case of aquarium, there are having various equipments required for an ideal aquarium, such as aquarium cover, light tubes, starter units, heater, thermostat, air pump, diffuser stones, filters, filter media, nets, scraper or algae cleaner, spot cleaner, feeding ring, water testing kit, planting sticks, siphon tubes, etc. But out of that, some are most important essential equipments we'll discuss in this video. So, in essential equipment, most essential equipments for smooth fish keeping in aquarium are number one, a glass siphon tube. A large glass siphon tube is essential to remove the debris and unconsumed food by sucking them up. A piece of hollow glass tube, which is twice longer than the depth of the tank, is quite satisfactory for this purpose. By using such a siphon, undesirable substances can be siphoned out after reasonable intervals. Second one, thermometer. A thermometer is always required to examine aquarium water temperature. It is always advisable to check water temperature frequently. A floating thermometer is quite useful for this purpose. It would not be out of place to that the majority of tropical species require a range between 22 and 26 degrees Celsius. Temperature below this will slow down their metabolic rate, which would lead to stress, lowered resistance, and general breakdown of biological systems. With the rise of water temperature, the internal temperature of fishes also elevates. If the water is too warm or the rise in temperature is too fast, causes a great deal of stress, which in turn may lead to all sort of problems. In addition, the faster metabolic rate brought about by the higher temperatures demand more and more oxygen. This temperature increase, on the contrary, leads to a decrease in available dissolved oxygen in the water. Such a condition may result in hardship for the aquarium fishes and may terminate into death. Third equipment, net. For some purposes, it becomes essential to catch a fish from the aquarium and transfer it to elsewhere. For this purpose, a handier rectangular net is required. With the aid of this equipment, the fish may be netted in the corner of the aquarium and it cannot make a dash for freedom, during which might be injured. Next equipment, aerator or air pumps and diffuser stones. The aerator or air pumps or spray bar attachment is also an aquarium equipment which is electrically operated. Aerators helps to produce streams of bubbles by pumping the air into the water via a length of tubing attached to a diffuser stone. Diffuser stones are, since porous, produce very fine bubbles. Aerator may pump a continuous stream of bubbles through water. The bubbles produced by the aerator actually facilitate the movement of water from the bottom towards the top, and thus the water comes in contact with the atmosphere here and gets oxygenated. A spray bar attachment is merely a rigid perforated tube linked to the outlet of power filter, which is responsible for returning the clean filtered water to the aquarium. The bar can be stick above the level of the water in the tank, usually along the back to spray out water via its perforations. As these fine sprays hit the surface of the water in the tank, they agitate it and thus facilitate gaseous exchange in a way similar to that of piston aerator. Number 5, feeding ring. Feeding ring is normally made up of plastic to float over the water surface. Dried food is sprinkled in a particular area of the aquarium with the help of feeding ring. Next, number 6, aquarium glass cleaner. To clear the glass of the aquarium, fine steel wool is held in the fingers by some fish keepers. An ordinary razor blade is also clipped at the end of the wooden handle in serve the same purpose. Number 7, aquarium heaters and thermostat. Basically, an immersion heater consists of an element of predetermined capacity enclosing in a glass tube, connected directly or indirectly to the thermostat constructed by metallic strip principle. Alternatively, the thermostat may external to the aquarium. More recent models have inbuilt electronic sensor which make more accurate temperature control. The thermostatic unit is of the immersible type. It may be connected directly to the heater and placed inside the same glass. These double units are generally known heater stat, although they have a distinct disadvantage compared to that of the separate heaters and thermostat. When either of these break down, heater stat have the great idea of being very easy to wire up. The heater stat is usually set at a temperature of 72 Fahrenheit and functions automatically. When the water temperature falls, particularly at night hours, the heater stat switches on, but when the water is held steady at 72 degree Fahrenheit, it switches off automatically. And lastly, about filters. One very important thing in mind when considering filtration is that should be used as an aid to maintain good water quality rather than as a means of correcting things when they go wrong. There are three main types of filtration: mechanical, chemical, and biological. Although in reality, they often work simultaneously. It is easier to deal with them separately when describing their characteristics. In mechanical filtration, dirty water carrying suspended waste, pencils, and debris through a medium which physically traps the solids and allows the clean water through. The filter medium is usually nylon floss, filter wool, or aquarium foam. The filter medium is usually nylon floss, filter wool, or aquarium foam. Chemical filtration employs a highly porous surface to absorb some of the soluble waste products such as NH3, charcoal, resins. Zeolite is among the most recent are suitable media for this type of filtration. In biological filtration, water is passed through a medium coated with bacteria which actually feed upon excreted products, rendering them harmless in the process. Some suitable media for the bacteria to grow are the aquarium gravel itself, extensively perforated foam, or recently sedimentary rock chips have been incorporated into a trickle feed system. The various types of filters commonly used are box filters, sponge, which is called as foam filter, under gravel filter, reverse flow filters, and power filters, etc. So this is all about the equipments used in the aquarium. In our next video, we will discuss about the precautions for an ideal aquarium.